used to believe kindness was a quiet strength. I believed it was the soft hand on a trembling shoulder, the extra plate set at dinner, the words we swallow so others can speak. I believed kindness would come back to me, the way a river returns rain to the sky. I was wrong for a long time. Or maybe I was right. But the world taught me the lesson the hardest way it knew. Let me tell you how my kindness was treated as weakness, and how I learned, slowly and painfully, to stand without becoming hard. I was born with a gentle step. My mother used to say she could tell it was me coming down the hallway because the floorboards barely sighed. My brothers stomped like storms. I moved like a question mark, always asking permission from the air. Our house was small but full of noise, full of needs, full of other people's urgencies. I learned early to make myself useful. If someone needed water, I was already standing. If a voice rose, mine softened. If a door slammed, I swept the pieces of the day into neat corners. No one told me to do this. I just did. Kindness in my family was not praised. It was expected. It was invisible. You were good if you gave. You were difficult if you asked. So I grew up believing love meant service, and silence meant strength. When I married, I brought that belief with me like a dowry. My husband was not cruel. He was simply used to being held up by others. He liked his tea sweet, his shirts pressed, his worries answered before they became questions. At first, he noticed my care. He said thank you. He smiled. He called me patient. But patience is a dangerous compliment. It teaches people how far they can lean. Soon, my kindness became the floor he stood on. And floors are not thanked, they are stepped on. If he came home late, I waited. If he was angry, I absorbed it. If he forgot something important to me, I reminded myself that men are tired. Men are stressed, men are human. I excused everything. I explained everything. I erased myself gently, thinking that love meant shrinking without complaint. It happened at a family gathering. His sister laughed and said, "You're too soft. That's why everyone gives you their work." Everyone laughed. I smiled, but something inside me sat up straight for the first time. Too soft, as if softness were a flaw, as if being gentle were an invitation. I watched that day how requests came to me instead of anyone else. Watch the children, cook a little more, adjust your plans, you won't mind. They were right, I didn't mind. Until I did. When I began working, I thought maybe the world outside home would be different. I thought kindness would be seen as professionalism, cooperation, teamwork. Instead, it became convenience. I covered shifts. I helped with deadlines. I shared ideas freely. When mistakes happened, I took responsibility because it felt easier than pointing fingers. Soon, my name was attached to other people's success and my own failures. When I finally spoke up, my manager said, "We didn't know you had a problem. You always seem okay." That sentence hurt more than any insult because it taught me something painful. People don't notice your boundaries if you never draw them. There was a friend I loved like a sister. She came to me in every crisis. I listened, advised, comforted, stayed awake through nights that were not mine. When my life cracked, I called her once. She was busy. She said she'd call back. She never did. That silence echoed louder than all the nights I had held her pain. That was the moment I realized something bitter but true. Some people don't love you. They love what you give. I began to notice how tired I was. Not the tired that sleep cures, but the tired that lives in your bones. I had done everything right. I had been patient, forgiving, understanding. I had bent so often I forgot my original shape. And still, I was called weak. That word followed me like a shadow. Weak for staying quiet. Weak for forgiving. Weak for trying again. But inside me, another voice began to speak, soft but firm. It asked, "Who are you being kind to? And who is paying the cost?" The answer scared me. It was a small moment. Nothing dramatic. No shouting. No slammed doors. Someone asked me to do something that would cost me time, rest, and peace. The old me would have agreed before the sentence ended. Instead, I paused, and I said, "I can't." The room went quiet. Faces changed. Disappointment appeared, sharp and surprised. That was when I understood the truth. People get upset when your kindness stops serving them. I went home shaking, guilt crawling under my skin. But beneath the guilt, there was something new. Relief. It took time to understand this, and I am still learning. Kindness is not fear in a polite dress. Kindness is not silence that hides pain. Kindness is not giving so much that nothing remains. Real kindness has a spine. It says yes with honesty and no without apology. I had to unlearn the belief that being firm made me cruel. I had to sit with the discomfort of other people's disappointment without rushing to fix it. That was the hardest part. When you change, people notice. And not everyone claps. Some called me selfish. Some said I had changed. Some missed the old me, the convenient me. I mourned that version of myself too. She had survived a lot. She had loved deeply. But she was tired, and she deserved rest. Strength is not loud. It does not need to dominate. It does not need to wound. Strength is choosing yourself without becoming bitter. It is holding compassion in one hand and boundaries in the other. I learned that I could still be kind, just not at my own expense. If there is one thing I wanted to pass on, it was this. Be kind, I told them, but never disappear. I taught them to help, but also to ask for help. To forgive, but also to remember. To love, but not to beg for it. I wanted them to grow up knowing that kindness is a choice, not an obligation. Today, my life is simpler. Fewer people ask too much of me. Some relationships faded. Others grew stronger, healthier. I am still gentle. I still care. I still help when I can. But now, I also protect the woman who gives. And that changed everything. If your kindness is being treated as weakness, hear me carefully. You are not weak. You are generous in a world that often takes without gratitude. But kindness, without boundaries, teaches people how to hurt you. Do not harden your heart. Do not lose your softness. Just learn when to close the door gently and firmly. If you are tired, I see you. If you feel used, I understand. If you are afraid that standing up for yourself will make you unlovable, listen to me. The people who leave when you stop overgiving were never staying for you. Your kindness is not your flaw. Your silence was, and you are allowed to speak now. I am still kind, but I am no longer weak. And that, my dear, is not a loss. It is a homecoming. My dear, if life has been heavy on your shoulders, let me tell you something I learned the hard way. Challenges do not come to break you. They come to teach you where your strength truly lives. I have stumbled, I have trusted the wrong people, and I have given more than I should have. But every hardship shaped me, not into someone bitter, but into someone wiser. Be kind, yes, but never forget to be kind to yourself. Set your boundaries gently, forgive when it brings you peace, and walk away when staying costs you your soul. Your journey does not have to look perfect to be meaningful. And if my story touched your heart, if you felt seen or understood even for a moment, then you are not alone. This channel is a safe place for all of us who are healing, learning, and growing together. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with me for more stories from the heart. Your support helps this voice reach others who need it, just like you did today.